Real quick, did y'all see that hit earlier? Holy crap.
We'll talk about it.
Hustle hard, hustle every single day. I'll be making moves till I'm buried in my grave. To the system, I don't wanna be a slave. I've been doing shit my way, or the highway. And in the driveway is a nice range. Cause I grind through the climb, I invite pain. You'll never hear me, bitch, nah, I don't complain. Just gotta flip the switch and you can go and obtain anything you want, anything you need. Your mind's got the key ingredient, it's belief. Build a seed with the negativity, but I just slide right by that energy. Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go. You got a mind, but even that could change. You could flip the gray matter like some batter in your brain. That's why I say, fake it till you make it A. And if you play that game, then you just might make a change. Rearrange all the bad to okay. Take the worst thoughts saying, turn them to a game. Take the best thoughts saying, put them on display. On repeat in your brain till you're feeling no more pain. Never slow yourself down, you can do some more. Push past all the pain and you'll find a door. Open it up and finally explore everything that you thought you could never do before. And even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go. Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 yeah, go. Hustle hard, hustle every single day. I'll be making moves till I'm buried in my grave. To the system, I don't wanna be a slave. I've been doing shit my way, or the highway. And in the driveway is a nice range. Cause I grind through the climb, I invite pain. You'll never hear me, bitch, nah, I don't complain. Just gotta flip the switch and you can go and obtain anything you want, anything you need. Your mind's got the key ingredient, it's belief. Build a seed with the negativity.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to this week's edition of the Sports Report. I am your host, Seven. Let me get things started without wasting any time. First, I want to bring in
I'm just having all kinds of technical issues tonight. My right hand, my best friend, and also the biggest dick in sports. Dan the Dick Warner, everybody.
It's not actually the biggest dick in sports.
He is the biggest dick in sports.
Pretty sure that belongs to possibly Giannis. We're not exactly sure yet, but
I mean,
it's in that
that's
area.
a pretty reasonable assumption.
And this is the Sports Report. This is not After Dark. It's like
right.
Will not being here is like Sammy Davis Jr. not being in the Brat Pack, or Ernest Lee Hudson not being in the Ghostbusters.
Yeah, do not adjust your television. I am not Will. Your brightness is not loud. But also with us this evening, back on regular equipment and also visible, we know them as Trailer Swift. We know them as the human snow cone. El Presidentris herself, Josie.
The Who from Whoville.
The Who from Whoville.
So I feel like
super interesting.
Trailer Swift.
Trailer
There's
Swift, that
just
was
so
a good
many names. The snow cone.
I'm
I
actually
mean,
just
the
offended.
real Who from Whoville is this man right here.
one.
I'm sorry. He's looking like the love child between the Grinch and Cindy Lou Who's mom.
Is that AD?
No, that's Harden coming to the game.
Oh,
yesterday.
wow.
Did
Yeah,
uh,
Harden's got style, bro.
we need to talk about
Style.
Harden when we get into the hardwood, because I have a question for you.
Don't you love
Me?
it? Don't you love it when
I
style?
I know what your question is too. I saw the report.
Don't you love it when style it just becomes like just madness when they get that rich and famous? Like they don't even. It doesn't even matter what they wear. They're just like
is on
putting
his
shit.
face?
It looks like
Look at-
it's a lobster. It looks like a lobster hat. Like the lobsters, you know, the
looks like
claws
a
are coming over the top.
starfish is hugging his face.
Yeah, it reminds me of that scene in fucking 22 Jump Street where the fucking octopus flies on dude's face. It's inking in my mouth.
My name is Jeff. Did you see? I mean, but think about the style of athletes showing up to games, though, because there's such a wide range. Because you see these guys that are dressed to the nines, you see weird costumes like that, and then you see guys like Jason Kelsey that show up in flip flops with a Dolce & Gabbana bag.
I'm telling you right now, I'm not a religious person, but I am praying and hoping for a Philly KC Super Bowl just because I want the Kelsey Brothers podcast before that game. That's all I want. All I care about.
Did you?
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm taking that period off of work so that I can watch it live. But you know,
did you see Taylor Jenkins showing up to the game yesterday? The Memphis head coach, the Grizzlies head coach.
No,
in the pajamas. He did the pregame interview in his Christmas pajamas, showed up to the game in Christmas pajamas, did shoot around in the Christmas pajamas. He refused to wear them during the actual game, which would have been that would have made him a legend. But yeah, the whole time it's ridiculous. He is a ginger white dude who should not be wearing pajamas at any point and not make you feel uncomfortable.
Let's say this for all the ridiculousness that was in sports this weekend with the clothes. To the Steelers for the Franco Harris jerseys. That was some class act right there. That was some class freaking act right there.
I mean, you have to pay homage to
one of the greatest guys on your team ever.
One of the greatest, because what it was is they were paying homage to the Immaculate Reception.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, he died the day before the 50th anniversary.
Right.
And pass he didn't catch. That pass had hit the ground first, and they just didn't have it on replay. Good for you, Franco Harris.
Hey,
rest in peace, bud. That was
if you know, Dan, I think you've told me this before. If you don't get caught, you didn't break any rules.
Absolutely. I mean, he got it happened, but like in real life, that thing hit the ground. That thing hit the ground. But it's all right. It was simultaneous. He made it look good. That's the thing. Like he fucking pulled it off. So like that's why it's good. That's why it's
I mean, it's entertainment. You got to be able to sell it. What makes
I think it's
AEW,
simultaneously
WWE, stuff like that is how you sell it, you know?
Yeah, I think it hit the ground like simultaneously as he caught it, and I think it was just like they were just like, fuck it. Like, and if it went through replay process today, it would be an incomplete pass. But like that's looking at it in slow mo and shit. I don't give a fuck, dude. It's 79 or whatever the fuck it was. Was it before that? Yeah. So.
Well, because I mean, they were celebrating the 50th anniversary.
Okay, so 72.
1972.
Yeah, I was just saying. Right. But all right, you know what? Let's start with the NFL today.
All right.
We'll do baseball last. So yeah, let's start with the NFL today.
I just have to say, hell literally froze over with all this weather we're having because my Texans actually pulled off a fucking win last night.
It was a hell of a move too. Like, gotta respect the Texans for getting it done.
Who led them to that win, guys? Anybody want to tell me who led them to that win?
The Neck Mills.
I like Davis.
He's the next best thing, guys. But he's the next best thing.
The neck best.
I like Davis Mills. I like it.
But we all have to.
I like Davis Mills until we get that number one pick.
Purdy mouth.
How many more first round picks did Bill O'Brien trade away? How many more you guys have to go without? What is it?
Oh
Three
no,
more?
this one. No, it's done. That's done.
Okay.
They got this. They got 2020 and 22. This one right here will be ours.
Every 3 months, it was like Bill
So,
O'Brien
I mean,
trades, and it goes. The ticker goes on like past the other side. It's like 2028 first round pick, 2029 third round pick, 2022.
You got to give it a little bit
for
of
Tim Tebow.
They gave Miami an 18th and a 13th, and then they waited to be really shitty and get the one till they didn't have to give it to Miami.
Oh my God, he's such a legend.
It's who I feel bad for the most. Greatest implosion of a team for harboring a rapist before walking away while watching the organization burn. That man deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. Like the greatest revenge movie. There will be in like 30 years, somebody's gonna have a script and we're gonna get a phone call because we were the ones that started this theory that ended up proving that Bill O'Brien screwed the organization intentionally for allowing Deshaun Watson to allegedly sexually assault massage therapists.
We're not going to dive into the whole thing, but if you want to check back at our reels, there's a rant of Seven explaining his conspiracy, not theory, like very valid theory of why Bill O'Brien destroyed the Texans before he left.
I'm like the Alex Jones. I'm like the Alex Jones of sports. 90% of what I say is crazy, but I get it right like 1 time out of 10.
There's that one Epstein. There's that one Jeffrey Epstein. And this is Seven's Jeffrey Epstein.
Also our greatest reel of all time, and that is his Barry Bonds rant.
Oh God, so many people get triggered by that, and I think it's fucking great.
It was
the comments
4 months ago we posted that, and I will still about once a week get a comment of someone just losing their mind on it.
And that's exactly why I used that reel, bro. I knew exactly what was going to happen.
My favorite comment in the whole thing, you guys can look back on it, is look at these two. Do they let anybody get on TV and talk about sports now?
Yes.
I swear to God, that's one of the comments. And I was like, yes.
We are living.
We need to play that. We need to play that in the fucking intro of our show at this point. It's that good.
Actually, when we get our explainer videos after the first of the year, screenshot of that comment in the explainer video somewhere. That's my entire goal. That's my one thing I'm going to tell him. Like, I have to have.
On your Steelers point, though, the Steelers. Okay, so Davis Mills comes in and beats him. Whatever. Did you see the Tom Brady fucking thing where he's talking to his fucking offensive line during the Steelers game? Did you see that? He's screaming at his offensive line. He's actually angry, and he says, I didn't divorce my wife so that I can lose to Kenny Pickett at halftime. Literally to his offensive line, screams it at them. Tom Brady.
Yeah,
it was like 2 weeks ago. It was like 2 weeks ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was the last time that they. Yeah.
Okay, I did not see that, but that's funny.
He almost lost that game last night.
He was down, to Kenny Pickett at halftime.
That's my thing. Like, let's start with last game. How bad do you have to be as the Buccaneers to overtime by the Kyler Murray list on a card? The one thing that keeps that offense afloat, and as much as I make about Kyler, he is a talented quarterback. Him respect in that regard. Yes, his KD in Call of Duty is higher than his QBR, but that's not for me. But you, as the Buccaneers, yourself to get taken to overtime, fucking Cardinals, without Kyler.
So I saw a TikTok this week that rates the 10 worst teams in the NFL. And it's the teams you think of. It's the Chargers, it's the Rams for literally having the worst post Super Bowl season ever. It's the Texans are number 2 because they're 2 and whatever. But number 1 is Arizona, and it is literally because they have all of this freaking talent and can't do no right. And yes, Kyler's out, and that is a huge hurt for them. They were they had 2 QBs switching out the whole game yesterday, and it could tell it was an issue because D-Hop didn't even have targets yesterday.
Well, and the thing of it is, Arizona as an organization is lost.
And Dingleberry needs to go.
Dingleberry's gone after the season. They don't have a choice.
I thought it was going to happen
Time was
today.
the first. I was kind of in that same boat. I'm surprised that only Hackett was the only one to get fired today. I think the only reason that Kingsbury is going to get to finish the season is because it wasn't a bad loss. He actually got Tom Brady to overtime, and it was a more defensive contest. So the fact that they didn't have any offensive prowess in that game was reduced by the fact that they stayed in that game. And that's the only thing that makes sense to me, because Kingsbury should already be gone.
Cliff Kingsbury is already in the process of filming it. It's called Arizona Heat. It's a dating show based out of Phoenix. He's already in it. He's already halfway. He's got his foot in the door on that already. So like he's cool with going. It's pretty. It should season premiere here on MTV pretty soon. He's coming to Nebraska, baby.
Right next to the two drag race that's now on MTV. It comes right after.
It's called the Kingsbury of Lincoln. That's where he goes to Nebraska and he's the head coach and he fucking dates all the college chicks.
So okay, Broncos with their stout D. Obviously, Nathaniel Hackett got fired today. Broncos have this stout fucking defense. Held the highest scoring offense in the Kansas City Chiefs to a very low score. And kept their offense in the game. Hold on. They kept their offense in the game. They lose 51-14 to Baker Mayfield. And as already mentioned, disgustingly bad Rams team compared to the performance of last year, or any team after a Super Bowl year. So what really was the reason for the outcome yesterday? Because that can't all be Nathaniel Hackett. He wasn't on the field.
Dude, that's a classic case of fucking Nathaniel Hackett getting fired for, I mean, it's just money reasons at this point. It has to be. It's all about how much they're paying Russell Wilson. It's like, fuck. Like, we're committed to him. We thought he was pretty good. Tends to be, can't do it by himself. We're not real talented. He's not going to carry us. That's shit. We should have saw that before. And it sucks for them. Like that. This has put them in a fucking bind, dude. Well, a bind, big time.
They're stuck. They can't get rid of Russell Wilson for 2 more years.
Oh yeah. And like I was talking, my cousin is a diehard Broncos fan, has been our entire life. And I was talking to him and I was like, what sucks the most is they can't even bench him. They can't even bench him to kind of see if that could, because sometimes you bench a player, it gets them out of their head. They realize they're about to lose their spot and they can come back. They can't do that with him because they're paying him so much damn money.
Well, he's like the lead singer that can't sing anymore.
Exactly. I mean, especially when you look at the backup Cowboys, for the Broncos. What is his name again? I'm gonna get it here in just a second. Brett Ripon. Watch a lot of the footage for him when he's been able to get in and get going with the team when Russell Wilson was out. He was more efficient with that offense than Russell Wilson was.
How is his last name spelled, Tony? Is it Rypien?
Yeah, R-Y-P.
Okay, so that's
go ahead.
Mark Rypien's son, I believe. Is it not? Mark Rypien, old Washington Redskins when they were the Redskins quarterback. I believe that's his son. So Mark Rypien, not a bad quarterback in the NFL. So he's got good genes. Don't quote me, but I think it is his son. But anyway, Mark Rypien was a decent.
Oh, he's the nephew.
Sorry. Okay.
Nephew. Yeah, according to Wikipedia, nephew. Because I hadn't even thought about the relation on that. But yeah, it's Mark Rypien's nephew.
Motherfucker's got good genes, dude. So,
nothing. But you can't pay a backup quarterback $260 million. So you can't. You literally can't bench Russell Wilson.
They're worried about what it's going to do to Russ too. You think? They're worried about what it's going to do to his psyche.
See, honestly,
I think the only thing that would save the Broncos is he retires. Sorry, go ahead.
He ain't going to do it.
I was just going to say, again, I go back to I'm not sure it wouldn't help him. Sometimes players need that bench to get them to understand, look, if I don't change something here, my career's done. And so I don't know if it would work for him, but at this point, you got to try something because he has had the literal worst decline in one season that I've ever seen.
Are you really gonna pay a guy close to $1 million a game to sit on the bench?
Yeah, that's the thing. You couldn't do it more than one game, maybe two.
Is that Brandon Boyd in the background? Is that Brandon Boyd?
That's my little brother.
Brandon, I'm a huge fan, bro. Brandon, I'm a huge fan.
I said Brandon Boyd.
Can you sing? No,
he doesn't know who that is.
Sorry. Really?
But it's the Broncos are a difficult spot, and as a Chiefs fan, I'm not sad to see it because it just means that that's one less problem we have in the division. But at the same time, I like competition, and also Broncos fans deserve some type of hope. They haven't even been back to the playoffs since they won Super Bowl 50.
Since
we are
Eli.
now in the worst we are now in the
wow,
worst.
I can't believe I just said that. Peyton. Sorry.
They are now in the worst Super Bowl drought or worst playoff drought for a team following a Super Bowl year in NFL history. That's not good for your fan base. That's a great way to convert long-term fans into fair weather fans, and you get a lot less money. And Denver is a smaller market. You can't afford to take a big hit like that and go from having dedicated fans, which the Broncos do, to everybody losing faith in the team and becoming fair weather.
Seven, there's no such thing as a small market team.
Quick update.
Those are your words.
Chargers up on the Colts 13-3, starting the fourth.
Right. No, and that's what I said. I'm not saying they are a small market team. I'm saying it is a smaller market, so you have to take care of your fan base. You don't have a choice.
I like that you guys brought up the Peyton Manning thing. And the interesting part is, like, yes, it's kind of like a similar situation, but opposite ends of the spectrum for the quarterbacks. Look at the two. You got Peyton, whose mind is still completely there. He's so locked into it fucking mentally that he actually overcomes being a fucking terrible athlete at that point, right? He's terrible. He's big. He eats all the time. He's rich as fuck. He doesn't give a shit. And he's just not in as good a shape as he was when he was younger.
Amazing game.
It's the opposite with Russell Wilson, dude. Like, Russell Wilson is a fucking freak, dude. That dude's arm is unreal. Go watch like his Pro Bowl fucking the skills passing and shit, dude. He's craziness. Like, that dude has obviously a baseball player. So like, but you're looking at opposites of the spectrum because Russell Wilson's mind is not there at all. Dude, that dude misses more wide receivers in games than I've ever seen before. Like, it is, and it's bad.
His own player wanted to stomp him into the ground.
Jerry Jeudy.
But here's the thing. Like, and this is where the retirement comes into play, because if where do you draw the line as a professional athlete to really be like, I can't do it anymore? Because like with a lot of positions, like especially your guys in the line, your running backs, it's your body that goes first. With him, Drew Brees had a sharp mind, but his arm retired 3 years before he did. So
Aaron Rodgers. His body retired 4 years ago.
Get the fuck out of here. That's a whole different subject we're not going to get onto right now, but I'm offended by that.
Aaron Rodgers' mind is the one that retired, buddy. Anyway.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
But
Russell Wilson, I'm not. Yeah.
Russell Wilson, though, he has clearly, there is still athleticism there. Like, even when you look at, as you see him scramble and moving, like he's trying, but it's like, the program isn't loading. It's like he's just dealing with a bunch of lag, like a shitty Call of Duty version or playing any moderately updated Bethesda game. But you have I just realistically, I think that if you're Russell Wilson, you have to legitimately consider retirement because of how disconnected the mind part is and how much that matters, especially when you're under center.
I mean, if he retires this, I like it because he could go back to his day job as being John Legend. So that's one thing he could do. And nothing. I think
in all seriousness, and I know he doesn't deserve this title anymore, but Sierra's husband doesn't need to work.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's what the only way that your argument makes sense, Seven, is like his off the fucking football field life, which is a lot of what the problem is, I think, is like, okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's going to be all right.
I'm
regardless,
wondering.
like,
I have been wondering, is he going through the same thing that Tom is going through, just more privately? Are they about
Seven,
to
I'm
divorce?
starting to
No.
like your idea though, for real, because I think it makes it. No, I think they're stronger than ever. I think they're fucking ready to push this fucking freight train into the future.
I
And
think
then-
they've drank a little too much of the Kool-Aid is the problem.
Oh god.
And I
Yeah.
say
Nope.
that as somebody who is a Christian. They drank too much of the Kool-Aid, bro.
I feel like
I'm just
Russell
saying.
Wilson was probably on like the wrapper of a Gatorade, and he buys just those Gatorades, and they drink them around the house. Like everybody like looks at each other while they're drinking his Gatorade. They're like, "Oh my gosh, it's awesome to be Russell Wilson's, son or whatever." They just everybody just
Okay.
like makes all the people hang
Too
out
many
together.
sacrifices to the Illuminati.
Yep. True fucking story. Quick
All right,
update.
real-
12:48.
Real quick, I was just
Um,
going to run through the scores and get y'all's thoughts for this
That's
week.
what I was doing.
I had them pulled up.
I got it. Packers beat the Finns 26-20. Tua back in concussion protocol. Definitely
He had
something
a
to watch
terrible
there.
game. Before the
Um,
concussion, he had a terrible game.
Yeah.
I didn't CT that one coming.
Steelers, as we Steelers beat the Raiders 13-10. Raiders are not eliminated technically yet, but they pretty much are.
Deshaun is 0-3, bitches.
Dallas Cowboys.
Makes me so happy.
Dallas Cowboys
Not gonna
beat
be
the
a happy
Philadelphia
ending.
Eagles 40-34.
Good game.
It gives
Gardner
me a
Minshew,
happy
it was a
ending.
great game. Gardner Minshew played really well for most of that game.
What?
He did.
Most.
He did.
Most. I mean, he had 355 passing yards and 2
Nice.
touchdowns. He was 24
And
for
he
40. Gardner
Showed
Minshew
when
had
it
Minshew.
that game?
mattered.
I'm not. I'll let you go a second, Dan. I'm not saying Gardner
Okay.
Minshew is perfect because he did throw a pick six, but Gardner Minshew played well in that game.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Dan.
I completely agree. You know who the best player on that offense is, though, right? It's not Jalen Hurts. It's Devontae Smith. Devontae Smith is
Oh,
the
yeah.
best player on that fucking offense, dude. That dude is a bad motherfucker, dude. Like he's starting to come into his own. He dropped a lot of balls early. Like last year, he showed flashes. He's fast as fuck. He's long, lanky. Like he reminds me kind of like a taller Deshaun Jackson. Is who he reminds me of. He's
Fair.
skinny. He comes out and he doesn't even fill out his shoulder pads. But that dude went up and made a catch. I don't know that last drive that they had. He went up and made a catch in the middle of the field, dude, and he got off the ground. And I was like, dude, that is unreal. Like, he went up, he's dunking a basketball is what it looked like. And he just caught up with his fingertips. And I was like, okay, this guy's for real. And he had like, what, 12 catches or something like that, like 130 some yards. Like he went basically nuts. So like, that's the best player on that offense. Anyway, that's what I was going to say is Jalen Hurts might be the MVP. Not, but he's not the best player on that offense. Devontae Smith is. Go ahead.
And Josie, go ahead. Sorry.
No, you're good. I was just, y'all said what I was going to say. I did want to say, is it just me or the Colts and the Jaguars literally trying to see who can win the AFC South with the worst record?
I like the Jaguars though. I like that offense a lot. I like Trevor
I think
Lawrence.
they
with
need
sunshine.
time to meld. I think there are a couple of pieces and a couple of years of time learning each other's habits and needs from being a contender for going to the deep into the playoffs.
Right
Like,
now,
Right. Super
AFC Championship, NFC, whatever, going deep.
right
Yeah.
now, the Texans
For
have
sure.
a chance to tie up the entire division. Like every team would end up tying for the division because if the Texans win out, they go 4-1 or 4-2-1 in their division.
Right, but it's but
It won't
overall
matter.
record
it
matters.
doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like they're
Yeah,
not
no, I
going.
got you.
Texans aren't doing.
You're just beating the
anything.
shit out of each other.
I'm just
Yeah.
saying, like literally, one of the shittiest teams in football is playing spoiler and making these two teams work, and I love it. I
Yeah.
fucking
So,
love
As
it.
by the
they
way, I just
should.
meant the AFC South. I just meant the AFC South, by the way. Not
Yeah.
'cause I'm on the same page as you are. Like, I don't think they're going to get past. I don't think they're going to win a fucking playoff game. But like to win the AFC South, I think that's probably the best team, honestly. Like, I mean,
Absolutely.
I mean,
yeah,
the Bucks are probably going to win their division with a losing record too, unless they win out.
yeah. That on that note, real quick, Tom, before we switch it on, literally the quote is, you guys should watch the YouTube video because we can't show it. The actual quote, he's yelling at his offensive line, dude, and he says, "I didn't leave my wife to lose to Kenny fucking Pickett." He screams it at his offensive line. I swear, dude. Hey,
that's
and
fucking
these guys,
great.
these guys have to keep a straight face for that shit, dude. Can you imagine being one of those offensive linemen? I'd be laughing my ass off. I'd be like, Tom, are you fucking serious, bro? That's the funniest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Dude, you see,
100% serious.
And
Tom
Dan,
would
I
have to
guarantee
punch me in the face because I would be laughing too goddamn hard
Me
if somebody
too.
said that to me on
Me
the sideline.
too.
There's no way. There's no way.
well,
One of
I
the dudes is
guarantee
clearly like,
you know why he said it? Because the week before he lost to Brock motherfucking Purdy.
yeah,
Purdy mouth.
Yeah.
Purdy mouth.
Who is undefeated in the NFL?
Brock Purdy, I mean,
Purdy mouth. In the actual video, he doesn't. He actually says lose to Kenny fucking Pickett at halftime. Be losing to Kenny Pickett at fucking halftime is basically what he says.
Yeah.
Like he wasn't even talking about the game. He was talking about at halftime. He didn't want to be losing at halftime. Yeah.
Okay. As we just said, Brock Purdy and his amazing self beat the Washington Commanders 37-20. Possibly a game that was so bad that we may see our boy Taylor Heineke get benched again. Poor dude. He can't catch a break.
They're still in the running for a wild card spot.
Yeah, and they are. As mentioned, Texans beat the Titans 19-14. I thought that was fucking hilarious.
It was amazing. It was amazing. And don't get
Davis
me wrong,
Mills. Listen to this stat line for Davis Mills, the winning quarterback.
they tried to give it away.
The winning quarterback when going against Derrick Henry. Not even counting who is under center for the Titans. Derrick Henry. Davis Mills was 17 of 28 for a whopping 178 yards and 1 touchdown. I'm going to say that again. 178 yards and 1 touchdown. Beat Derrick Henry, who had 23 carries and 126 yards and 1 touchdown by himself.
You're talking shit on Vrabel right now, right? Are you talking shit on Vrabel?
Absolutely.
Okay.
The only
he
thing
needs to go back to whatever fucking boy band he was in. Like, seriously.
I mean, the only thing that Derrick Henry really did that whole game was that 50-yard run. He didn't really have a whole lot that game compared to a Derrick Henry game, like a normal game.
I mean, he broke a bill. That's a game. It doesn't matter who you are.
But half of that was that one run.
So that's a running back's job.
I'm not trying to take anything from him. I'm just saying, compared to some other Derrick Henry games, he didn't have the greatest game of his life.
Still had 123 yards.
That's such an impossible standard though, because hasn't he rushed for 200 yards multiple times? Of course, 123 yards isn't going to be everything one of those games is.
That's just like his average, which is like, what, Hall of Fame, all-time leading rusher of all. Like that's the highest per average. Yeah. I mean, in NFL history, it would be like that dude. If you just watch the games, like that dude, like I'm a running backs fan, bro. You know I'm a running backs guy through and through. And just watch him at the end of runs. Yeah.
Quick question. Actually, you know what, no, Josie, I'll ask you this question. How many teams do you think would love to have a player who's a running back whose bad game is 123 yards and 1 tutty?
I guarantee you the Texans would jump on every bit of that. I'm not trying to say like he had a bad game. He did not. He had what for most running backs would be an amazing game. I'm just saying, had Derrick Henry been on one yesterday, we wouldn't have won that game.
No, but here's the thing. One of the things you're forgetting, and I understand you don't watch Texans football even as a fan because it's dog shit. They have
and I literally just got back into a place I could actually watch it.
Right, yeah, you've been out of market. I was just giving you shit. But they have a decent run defense.
They do.
They just can't defend the pass for shit.
They're second.
So
okay, as someone who's been a fan of this team for 21 years, our secondary has always been one of our problems. Literally since the very beginning.
That's fair. But right now the secondary is not just a problem.
It's fucking dog shit.
It's a hairball dipped in Everclear and aviation fuel set on fire. That's exactly what it is.
I think you can directly link just a fucking dumpster fire. I think you can directly link the Texans DB problems with their first overall pick that they took. Well, in the secondary, I don't know if it was their first overall pick ever, but it's 2001.
Cushing?
Jonathan Joseph was their first round pick, and the dude just got torched on the regular. I mean, he's also going up. He's also going up against AFC guys or dudes in the NFC like Randy Moss and those guys. But like he's getting torched all the time. They're terrible everywhere else. He's the only talented guy. He reminds me kind of like David Carr, like Derek's older brother. Like he was actually really talented. Probably could have been good, but like he just came into a shit situation. Oh, Texans.
Well, it was again the Texans had no protection for him. David Carr was Andrew Luck before there was an Andrew Luck. Like,
ooh, I don't know about that. I wouldn't take it that far. He
held the record for most sacks.
Jeff
in the
Garcia.
Season. He held the record for most sacks in the season at one point.
Who?
David Carr.
David Carr is a quarterback. Joe Montana was a quarterback. Oh no, taking the most sacks. I get what you're saying.
Yes.
I get like he took the most sacks. Yeah. They were terrible. That's what I'm saying. Like, and Jonathan Joseph got torched all the time because they were terrible.
I feel bad for them, but at the same time, like the Texans as an organization, like you're still 5 years out. Like Lovie Smith will see a winning season, but he will not see a playoff season. I'm sorry, but he'll be gone before that.
I don't know. A lot of the fans are calling for his firing after this season.
That's the dumbest possible thing the fucking organization can do outside of trading back for Deshaun Watson.
I agree.
Meanwhile, Bill O'Brien's got retroactive trades still happening. Like, oh yeah, in 2027 we're supposed to trade. He's like, we agreed in 2020 that we were going to trade this second round pick for. He's got retroactive, just destroying them from the inside.
All right, Ravens. We're
going to keep hitting
the Falcons.
Bill O'Brien.
We are. Ravens beat the Falcons 17-9. Ritter under center for the Falcons threw for 218 yards on 22 of 33. Did not throw for a touchdown. I think that game was mainly. I don't think they actually scored. No, they didn't score a touchdown in that game. Field goals in the second, third, and fourth quarter. Yeah, but. Pretty underwhelming game. Panthers beat the Lions 37-23. And still in competition for their division. Jared Goff,
Texans North.
And I feel bad for Jared Goff in the Lions because Jared Goff was 25 of 42, 355 yards and 3 TDs. Like 3 tutties, throws for over 350. That's brutal, man. Like that's just brutal.
You got a real talented arm.
He is. I mean, he's an NFL quarterback.
You knew in Hard Knocks, if you watched Hard Knocks, that like when they're in the offseason, their best defensive player is a 6 foot, 220 pound Hispanic middle linebacker. And he is a beast. Don't get me wrong, but like that's the dude that it's like their 6th round pick. And this dude is just coming in there and he's just a beast, dude. And like, but they're like, that's who they're focusing on. I mean, obviously they have Aiden Hutchinson. Aiden Hutchinson is actually a really good talent. I think he was injured like half the year or something like that. But like, dude, their defense is garbage. It's total garbage. And like Jared Goff, like you said, Jared Goff can throw fucking football, bro. Like that guy can throw. He's got touch for days. He's got touch for days. Dude, love catching it from him because he throws fucking beautiful balls. Like they're just so easy, just easy to catch and just right in your, nobody ever has to go out and if you ever watch Jared Goff's games, he doesn't throw the ball deep really well, but like his short passes, dude, they're just in the right spots. He throws to people on the run and stuff. That's why he's good. It really is.
Goff is a textbook West Coast quarterback.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. Yeah, it's good. That's a good comparison.
And that's the thing. And I say, and I don't mean that disrespectfully, because if you have a quarterback that can dink and dunk all the way down the field, you're controlling the game just as much as if you have Derrick Henry on one side and fucking James Conner on the other. Like
Trent Green.
Yeah, exactly. Trent Green. And Trent Green was now as Kansas City Chiefs fans will kind of wince because of how bad that era was, but Trent Green was not completely the problem. He was actually a decent quarterback.
Oh, absolutely.
There was
the
a lot of
franchise leader in a couple things.
Yeah, exactly. You know. All right, so this next one, I also okay. So Bengals beat the Patriots 22-18. Joe Burrow throws 40. Joey B 40 of 52, 375 yards and 3 tutties. But we also saw the Bengals lose one of their starting tackles in this game. Big blow to their offensive line going into the game against the Bills. The Chiefs fans really, really want the Bengals to win, because that's how we get the division.
Yeah, well,
or
yeah.
The AFC.
You want it at home.
Yeah. That's how you get home field advantage for Patrick Mahomes again. And I can see Joey B just being like, you know what? Fuck Patrick Mahomes. I'm just gonna get sacked.
Hold my beer. Hold my beer. The
just
only guy,
just so Joey B can play him again and beat him again.
the boogeyman of Kansas City, brother.
The only guy in the world who happens to just ooze more like I'm fucking really good at my job confidence than Patrick Mahomes is fucking Joe Burrow, and like it's not warranted at all. And you know, like it is warranted at this point. It is kind of, but like he's earning it. But like he already just had it. He was like, yeah, I'm just fucking like really good.
I have a question for y'all. Is Joey B in the MVP conversation?
No.
No?
No.
Not realistically to win it, no.
No.
Like there's one MVP of the NFL. He's number 15. He plays for the Chiefs.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah. That's all.
He's
every year. If Jalen hadn't gotten hurt, you'd have more of a competition.
Exactly. Now, and I'll give you that. If Jalen Hurts doesn't get hurt, then I think you're absolutely right. It is more of a competition, and Jalen Hurts deserves to be in that competition. He was putting up some hellacious numbers, but that's all Patty Mahomes now. Now, is it possible that we see an MVP in the future for Joey B? Absolutely. As long
I
as
wouldn't even say
possible.
I'd say if he stays healthy and keeps growing like he does every season in the next year or two.
Josie, if I was a betting man, which I am.
Oh God! For everybody's information, Dan hit up our group chat today.
Stop it.
Hey.
I
was asking these motherfuckers for money.
If you have a gambling addiction, call 1-888-BETS-OFF.
88 butts off. Definitely don't do what I do and just leverage.
Know your limit.
Leverage your friends.
Know your limit, and you don't have to send messages to your friends asking for them to cash app you $11.
Dun. Piece of shit.
Okay.
Did the bet you want to make hit? Oh. That's my question.
Probably not.
Fuck no. Well, but when I hit big. I'll tell you what.
So, I've seen some of those spoils. I can confirm that.
I did have to say though, Pat Mahomes on the Pat Mahomes thing. I forgot what I was going to fucking say now, you assholes.
Well, no. Just think about it. We're going to be talking about Chiefs game here in a minute.
Okay, cool.
Okay, and then Vikings beat the Giants 27-24 in another Kirk Cousins miracle, scoring 17 points in the fourth quarter. Daniel Jones, though, still had a decent game, 30 of 42, 334 yards and a tutty. Saquon Barkley, 14 carries for 84 yards and a touchdown. And Justin Jefferson actually had a game himself, 12 receptions, 133 yards and a touchdown.
Josie just learned about Justin Jefferson 3 weeks ago. He did. She did it on the show.
That's right. I forgot about that.
I was like, did you just realize who Justin Jefferson was?
I've told y'all 1,000 times. I follow one team. One team.
I know. We know.
And my fantasy team. That's it.
We're aware.
Kansas City Chiefs hold out against the Seattle Seahawks 24-10. Patrick Mahomes was 16 of 28 for 224 yards and 2 touchdowns. But Kenny Walker still ran for 26 carries and 107 yards for the Dirty Sea Chickens. And of course, Travis Kelce still kicking ass, leading in receiving yards for the Chiefs, 6 receptions, 113 yards. Now, here's my question, and I have to ask this legitimately, and this is not to take away from Patrick Mahomes. When do you start considering Travis Kelce getting an MVP? Because I'm sorry that it
stinks.
I was going to say, if Pat was not having the season that he's having right now, Kelce would be in the discussion. If he was just having a little bit less of a season,
for what?
But Pat's Kelce for MVP. I really feel like there should be some discussion because I don't think that the Chiefs are as good as they are without Travis Kelce. I think
definitely not.
Everybody thought that Tyreek Hill was the catalyst. Tyreek Hill was not the catalyst. Tyreek Hill was actually the tool. There's a reason that they did more to take care of Travis Kelce than they did to take care of.
It's also the
Tyreek
relationship that Kelce and Mahomes have. Like you could see that on the podcast a few weeks ago. Those two have just such a close-knit relationship. Like they just play so well together. You can tell on the field they read each other's minds.
Right, but that's I see what you're saying, and Patrick Mahomes is a part of Travis Kelce's success, but Travis Kelce was good before Patrick Mahomes. Travis Kelce made Alex Smith look good. And there has been so much consistency. You haven't seen a tight end have the consistency in production that Travis Kelce has had. And you look at this year, he's having another top shelf season. It's at some point you can't ignore it.
But I feel like you're talking directly towards me because I think you are. Dude, get the fuck out of here with both of you. Like a tight end. We're gonna make a tight end the MVP, huh?
Why not?
And you know what, Seven? I'm ashamed of you. I'm actually ashamed of you because we're on the Patrick Mahomes train. This is what I was gonna say about Patrick Mahomes earlier. There's an argument for Jalen Hurts could be the MVP of the NFL, right? And that's the NFL MVP award where all those guys vote for it. And it's all about politics and who gives a shit, right? There is no question who the best quarterback in the NFL and best player probably at this point. Outside of maybe some defensive players we could throw in there, but like the best player in the NFL right now is Patrick Mahomes. Is it not? Is he not the best player in the NFL?
I'm not saying he's not, but I'm saying what does Kelce have to do to get into the discussion for this? Because clearly he's a catalyst for that offense.
If he finishes 4th or 5th, I'd be awesome on that train. At no point do I think that he should be the MVP of the NFL when he is not the best player on his own team.
Right.
That is what that is my problem.
Last couple of things here, games real quick, and then we're going to get over to fight night. Saints beat the Browns 17-10. Deshaun Watson still pretty stiff out there.
Three bitches.
I can't seem to really just untie himself.
As you said, Seven, he just needs to retire now. He got picked off by Dan fucking Sorensen.
He's not going real hard. Okay, he's not
like
not
that's
going hard.
After everything that happens, that's the bottom of the barrel for your career.
And you are right. Like if you, at this point in your career, if you're getting picked off by Dan Sorensen, you should just fucking hang him up. But I wonder if the speed of the game just caught Deshaun Watson by surprise. You know, just.
Nothing. I thought it was funny. Seven. I liked it.
I mean, I'm a brilliant man. People will realize it someday.
I mean, obviously, hey, this is all going to be on the internet forever. It's all out there forever.
It's going to happen. I'm going to be like, I'll be long dead, and somebody will come across and be like, "This madman was right."
You're going to be you're going to be like fucking. Go ahead. Sorry.
Bills beat the Bears 35-13. Josh Allen only threw for 172 yards, but he was 15-26, 2 touchdowns. They just ran the ball a lot. Singletary ran for 106 yards off of 12 carries.
That's also
29 of the 35 points that the Bills scored were in the third and fourth quarter. The Bills only scored 6 points in the first half.
Yeah.
They actually went in losing 10-6 at halftime. So
right. The Bills' versatility is really what makes them so dangerous in the playoffs.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously they're dangerous in the playoffs, but like, dude, they'll go anywhere, bro. They don't care if they play on turf inside where it's 70, they'll run with you. And then they can play on fucking, what was it, 16 degrees? And it was snowing. Like there's like 2 inches of snow on the ground and shit. They'll go in there and roll with you like that. Like they can do it on both sides of the ball all over the place. Like Josh Allen is a perfect all-weather quarterback. But the thing is, the Super Bowl was always just played in fucking perfect conditions. Is it not?
Yep.
So
that's playing in a dome.
Right. And does it come down to where it's like Josh Allen might make these, but like he's such a good quarterback for like that multi-dimensional type of weather and stuff because he can run, he can throw the ball accurately, but does he do them all consistently? No. That's that kind of the thing, you know? So like Patrick Mahomes is a perfect fucking Super Bowl quarterback. He loves that turf, loves guys, you know, flying fast and stuff. Like he can roll out, do all that shit. But like he's just not as multidimensional as Allen is, but obviously he's the best player in the NFL.
Right. Jaguars beat the Jets on Thursday night, 19-3. Trevor Lawrence, 20 of 31 for 229 yards. Etienne ran for 83 yards off of 22 carries. And Ingram led Jacksonville in receiving yards, 7 receptions, 413 yards. And 2.5 minutes left in the fourth quarter of the Chargers-Colts game, Monday Night Football, currently running on ESPN 1. Or ESPN, I don't know why I called it 1. ESPN, Chargers are on the Colts 20-3. Justin Herbert is currently 24 of 31, 235 yards, and 1 pick. Austin Eckler has ran for 2 touchdowns and 67 yards off of 18 carries. Keenan Allen, 11 receptions, 404 yards. The Chargers are really trying, and they're not really getting it done.
Yeah,
not the slightest.
I mean, I don't know what's going on, honestly. I think I love Justin Herbert. Love me some Derwin James. They have talented guys all over the place. It doesn't seem like it's going real well in the locker room there.
I don't think it is either. I think you're right.
Yeah, I mean, so like it just seems like they might need to change. They need to make some kind of a splash in the coaching game. I think they need to hire somebody who's experienced who can, because I feel like there's a lot of different egos going on, and I don't know if everybody's handling them correctly. I feel like it's being mishandled.
Lane,
I'm sorry, buddy, but not good.
You love Geno Smith.
Hold on, I think Seattle's already been eliminated.
No, I think they got a chance at a wild card shot.
Oh, they are still in the hunt. Yeah,
they need a lot of things.
They're 7 and 8. I mean, really, they just need the Commanders to lose,
which could happen because the Commanders got, I think, a pretty tough last 3 games.
They do have a stronger strength of schedule or a higher strength of schedule than the Seahawks, so it's possible. But
they go out
the
first
Seahawks,
no matter what.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, then that's the unfortunate pieces. Geno Smith definitely saved his career this season. I think he performed a lot better than people expected.
But he's not a Super Bowl caliber.
He's not, and you can't get away with Trent Dilfer anymore.
He's perfect for that first round quarterback that they're going to draft next year to mentor that first round quarterback because they know Geno Smith's not the guy. He's perfect for that. Play him into that. If he does well for the franchise, that's fantastic. But they need to get somebody else, obviously. I mean, you don't, he's not fucking Kurt Warner. He doesn't come out of the grocery store at 31 and start just, win the Super Bowls. It ain't happening. Quite honestly.
All right, so I believe Josie has some stuff for us in Fight Night. Let's move on.
Do we have an ad?
Yeah.
This is 47 minutes.
Yeah, we're going to take a quick break running our ads, and we'll be right back.
It's really just a pee break for me. That's what it is.
For all things baseball, don't miss the Winter Meetings podcast Sunday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern at youtube.com/The Sports Report Podcast. And again, Tuesday mornings on West Coast Radio at 11 a.m. Eastern. Wrap up your Monday with some laughs. Make sure to join Will, Seven, Dan the Dick Warner, and Josie as they dive into the hottest topics of the week across sports, including baseball, basketball, and the NFL. You can catch the episode live Monday nights at 10 p.m. Eastern on youtube.com/The Sports Report Podcast, or Wednesdays at 11 a.m. Eastern on West Coast Radio. Don't miss the Sports Report Podcast. Don't miss Fight Night. Every Tuesday night, Will Morgan and Josie Haney break down the hottest topics of the week across combat sports, including UFC, boxing, WWE, AEW, and more. Past episodes are available on youtube.com/The Sports Report Podcast, and each episode will air again Thursday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern on West Coast Radio. Don't miss Fight Night. Tune in or tap out. Put the kids to bed, put on your shades, and crack open a cold one during Sports Report After Dark with Seven and Dan the Dick Warner. You can catch After Dark Thursday nights at 10 p.m. Eastern on youtube.com/The Sports Report Podcast, and again Saturday nights at 11 p.m. Eastern on West Coast Radio. We believe that athletes are people too, and Skip Bayless is one of the lizard people. Don't miss Sports Report After Dark.
Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go. You got a mind, but even that could change. You could flip the gray matter like some batter in your brain. That's why I say, fake it till you make it A. And if you play that game, then you just might make a change. Rearrange all the bad to okay. Take the worst thoughts saying, turn them to a game. Take the best thoughts saying, put them on display. On repeat in your brain till you're feeling no more pain. Never slow yourself down, you can do some more. Push past all the pain and you find a door. Open it up and finally explore everything that you thought you could never.
Yeah.
Welcome back, everybody, and I think we're going to move right into Fight Night.
We are. So first things first, I did want to pay my respects. Rest in peace to a UFC MMA legend, Stephen Bonner. Passed away today. Seems like we've been losing a lot of people in the combat sports world lately, and it bugs me. So before I dive into my new segment with this and ask Dan the Dick any wrestling question he wants, and let Dan ask me any wrestling question he wants. Real quick, I just want to touch on Mandy Rhodes. She got fired 2 weeks ago yesterday, or 2 weeks ago tomorrow. And it is looking like in that 2 weeks, just with her fan site, she has made over $1 million since WWE let her go for breaking their morality clause in their contract. Will sent me a TikTok yesterday of a man I despise talking about the situation, and it makes me sick to my stomach, but I agree with him. And that's Jim Cornette. And he said that he really doesn't, he thinks what probably happened is they saw it, they were like, hey, we need to have a conversation. This is kind of pushing the line, because if you there now have been some pictures out there. Cornette's a dirty old man, and he actually bought the subscription so he could talk about it on his show, but and probably fantasize about cucking his wife to it. So
he wore the horns of a cuckold.
But he made a good point. Like in the pictures she's posting, none of which show any titty. Like they're literally as softcore as you can get without breaking the line. But they all cut off right here. You never see her face. And I think I honestly believe he also said that yes, right now she's making money, but eventually, as it wears down, she'll start making less money. I do
First
believe
question, Josie. Who is that? Who are we talking about right now?
It is
You said the name.
Her name is Mandy Rose. She was the
Okay.
She had been holding the title for their developmental NXT, the women's title. She'd had it
Because it goes with my question too. So
going on
Mandy
400 days, and then all of a sudden they dropped it, and the next day fired her. And it is all because she had basically what's an OnlyFans and was putting up some risque photos. None of them were showing nudity. Like they were literally towing the line as close.
Were
as
they
you could.
suggestive?
Yes.
Wait. I have a question. Because I didn't know about this. So I've fallen out a little bit. So I want to make sure that I understand. The wrestling organization that built its current empire on the existence of HLA matches and bra and panties matches
in China.
And in multiple times where these women were completely exposed in an arena of 20,000 plus people, they're going to come and also in the mid-90s, China was in Playboy, and you could see her hoo-ha.
Shawn Michaels was in Playgirl. Literally, you've had China, Stacy Keibler, Trish Stratus, Tori Wilson. All of them have been in Playboy.
Hold on. Is it because she wouldn't give them a cut?
That's what most fans are saying, is because WWE has a rule now. If you're on Twitch, if you're on any kind of third-party platform, they get either you have to be giving them a portion, or you can't use their stage name for it. But she wasn't. She was using her real name. There's even more to that, though, Seven. I want to drop a little bit more to that. The current ROH Women's Champion, Athena, when she got released from WWE, she came out in a podcast and said she was told by WWE they wanted her to be more like Mandy Rhodes and wear more scantily clad outfits. Athena's not that type. She doesn't really do that. And literally was one of the reasons she got let go from the company, because she refused to be more like the girl that they just fired. Yeah, I love this. I love the shock on their faces. It's amazing.
It's like a monkey trying to fuck a football. Like they're so dedicated to it being like a soap opera for rednecks that it's not just the promos and the wrestling that are part of the show. It's the drama backstage. Like they're going to have the gonads to fire a chick for posting softcore porn that doesn't
Seven
without her face, without her stage name that they gave her.
Seven for violating the morality clause.
The morality clause of a company that was run by a man where the line to the women's title began on your knees.
Yep.
Are you?
It ain't gonna suck itself, sweetheart. You want to?
So Dan, what
wear that belt?
What was your question
wear that
today,
belt,
Dan?
sweetheart? I'm Vince. Hi, I'm Vince. This is Vince Jr. You want to wear that belt or not? For violating, wait for it, the morality clause.
That's the part that blows me away.
The morality clause. I bet
it's got to be that she wasn't giving him. She wouldn't give him any money for it because she wasn't using her WWE.
And there's
make believe a Santa Claus.
There's either that, or the other thing is that some people say, and Cornette kind of said this too, that they may have sat her down and said, "Hey, this is pushing the line. You're going to have to stop." And she just said, "No." I mean, it has been reported that she's making more off this website than she was making from her contract.
So yeah, why would she say no?
And then I guarantee you, she could go sign with AEW. And Tony Khan's still going to let her have that because other girls on the roster have that.
I would say, why wouldn't he?
And she would be
to make money?
huge addition to the women's roster for AEW.
Absolutely.
She literally has been NXT's champion for 400 plus days.
So how long is her non-compete going to be?
Usually... it's hard to say. Usually, WWE's is 90 days, but where they kind of severed her contract, I'm betting it's more like 30.
I was gonna say if it was something where it was like they were quitting or some type of big continuous problem or something like that, I could see more time. But if you're just gonna be like, hey, you thought you were working today, but you're fucking fired because you won't pay us money for shit you don't use our shit for, how can you really justify having a non-compete at that point? Like, if you fire me like that, guess what, bitch? Tomorrow, if AEW is like, hey, let's go. Bye, motherfucker, you fired me. Unless you're paying me for that time that I'm sitting, you can kiss my black ass.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, Dan, what was your question for the day?
Well, just real quick on that, like the worst part about that is like, that the meeting between her and the WWE was probably like on paper. It was like, yeah, well, please stop doing this. But like there was some big time leaning going on in that room. Let's just say that. Like it was like a maybe do this or maybe you're not here anymore. Like that was definitely happening the whole time. But
I forgot.
Go ahead.
I forgot the best part of this, Seven. The person who found out about it and alerted Shawn Michaels, who was in Playgirl, by the way, was Matt fucking Bloom, who you would know, Seven, as A-Train. Yes. He is the one who ratted her out because the rumor is AEW started this morality clause and all of this back when they made the ban on OFs and Twitches and things like that. And the rumor is the coaches and the producers are being the ones to police it. So if they hear or see something, they have to be the ones to do something about it. And you had a man who literally came out on TV, his hairy, oily ass with his nipples pierced and his face all ringed up, and was in a group called TNA with Test, Trish, and himself.
What does TNA stand for? What is that?
Tits and ass, baby. Tits and ass.
Oh, god damn it! I didn't know until now. God damn, morality clause, bud. Morality clause.
Yeah, that's.
We don't have one of those. I promise. None of us will be here.
All right. So okay. So Dan, what's your question?
Oh well, my question literally, this was the original question, and it goes so much kind of along these lines. Mine was about Mick Foley. Okay. So Mick Foley. Like I just remember Mankind's character and like all of his different characters, but especially Mankind in general, like, and just Mick Foley himself was a lot at that time. It was like, it was okay to be weird type of thing. Does that make sense? Like it was kind of like because he was so, yeah.
Dude Love.
What were the other ones? There was Dude Love. There was Mankind.
Dude Love, Mankind, and Cactus Jack.
And then Mick.
Cactus Jack. And then there was Mick Foley, right? So
there was four characters.
Mick Foley and Mankind kind of like it made it for me anyway when I was watching at that point. Like it was like he was a lovable weird guy, and like I was weird, and like so like that was a weird thing. Was like he kind of made it okay. Like, what do you think Mick Foley's like those characters and like that time in wrestling had an impact on kids like us?
Yeah, because it's okay to change it up. I think.
Like, what was the impact? I guess.
Well, I will say this:
Go ahead.
is you ask any wrestling fan, like a true wrestling fan, someone like me who's been watching their entire life, who's watched for a long time, what one of the greatest matches they've ever seen is, and if they don't tell you that it's Mankind versus Taker off the when Taker threw Mankind off the Hell in a Cell. If that's not one of your favorite matches, you're not a true fucking fan. Because that's also the first time Foley won the world title, and it has been documented that is the night when WWE started winning the Monday Night Wars. Because if you go back and watch that WCW had this really bad thing about telling people on their air what was happening right now on WWE. Well, they made a mistake that night and said that Mankind was about to win the world title. Literally every person changed the channel to see Mankind win that title.
I was watching, man. I was watching that Raw live, and I think that when we think about Jim Ross and Jerry the King Lawler as an announcer, as a commentating duo, in
They're
wrestling.
dirty old men,
WWF,
but I love
WWE. Right. But the truth of the matter is, like, that's probably one of the most iconic moments in sports announcing. Like, you know, there are people that will reference
He broke him in half.
The moment with Joe Rogan and the other guys on UFC that became a meme and just but no, Jim Ross, Jared King Waller, Mick Foley, Undertaker, Hell in a Cell, one of the most iconic announcing moments in sports entertainment.
Oh my God.
Oh my God, he broke him in half.
That was actually, and I can tell you with absolute certainty, that was the night that Mick Foley became my favorite wrestler because, like, when I grew up, I knew that wrestling was fake because when I started to get into wrestling, my mom told me about Jesse Ventura outing the outing the fact that WWF at that point was choreographed and scripted, and I said, okay, it still looks cool. Like that I mean, because I was a boy, you know, I was a 8, 9, 10-year-old boy. These guys were fighting on TV, and sometimes the chicks with nice boobies showed them around. Like, that's what mattered to me. Like, I didn't give a shit.
Yeah,
and
that's what I like.
And that one night, on that Monday night, I watch Mick Foley fly off of that big ass cage, and my mom was watching it with me, and she goes, and I remember her going, "Holy shit! How did they do that?" I looked at her and said, "Mom, he threw him." I said, that ground's padded, but he threw him. That's what happened. That actually happened.
Again, as I will tell people 1,000 times, it's not as padded as you think. They're literally landing on gymnastic mats. Like,
it
is, and then like the people,
but that's still softer than that fucking concrete that's under.
Oh yeah,
seriously.
and there's still and then people who say, "Oh, well, the ring is padded." The ring is not padded.
It's not as padded as you think it is.
Plywood.
I've built those rings. Yep.
It is a plywood with a little bitty carpet over top with no padding, and then the ropes are metal wires wrapped in tape.
Right, and
tightened
what makes the ring bouncy is that plywood that they're on. That plywood and padding that they're on sits on top of a very tightly sprung trampoline.
Yes,
I built that ring. I mean, that's what it is. Like, I've built that ring. That's the way you can think of it. But there was no faking throwing that man from 20 feet into the air. That table probably saved him from more injury because it slowed his fall down to that concrete. Yes. Which is, I still believe it was there. That's why it was there, because those tables are padded for a reason. They are to break the wrestler's fall because they don't give a shit about those electronics. They know when somebody's going to go through that table.
That's why now you look at the tables they use now. They don't even use the for the commentating tests. They don't use the same tables that they used to. They use an actual built table, and it's iPads, so they can sweep them off real fast. And the tables are built to break away.
Yep.
Also, like, psychologically, think of Mick Foley as far as like the dude who could just take and take and take and take and keep getting back up, and he keeps getting back up and he keeps getting back up. Like, psychologically, that's a huge thing.
That's what I was gonna say, Dan. Is also, if you haven't ever read any of Mick's books, go read his books. He's a
fantastic writer,
insanely good writer. Both in his autobiography and his children's books, they're amazing. Both of them.
Yeah, he has children's books, and they're great. Yeah, they really are.
Like New York Times bestseller with a couple of his children's books.
Mm-hmm.
So he's an amazingly smart man. But what you were saying, Dan, is yes, Mick wrote in his books that he's literally was willing to do absolutely anything. The only person that I would say would be more crazy than Mick when it came to like hardcore matches and was Terry freaking Funk, because Terry Funk is insane. Like,
Terry Funk is insane. Well, but here and here's the thing. Like, if you look at, you can go onto YouTube, and for those of you that haven't really seen a lot of Mick Foley outside of maybe a few of those iconic WWE moments, man, go watch some of the videos of Mick Foley when he did Japanese wrestling.
Even go watch his
especially
match with
the barbed wire bat.
His match with Abyss in Impact was amazing.
Absolutely. And that's one of the reasons why he is my favorite. Like, if for me it's up there, it's him and Taker. Him Taker, and his name was just on the tip of my tongue. But him, I mean, it's him and Taker are two for me. But I came up through the Attitude Era, so I'm going to be drawn to them first. But
Yeah.
him and Taker, it's just they're so goddamn dedicated to what they do and so fucking good at it.
Well, and then you want to go to more recent in like the Ruthless Aggression era. He had one of the greatest feuds ever with Edge. Like him and Edge's feud was insane. Like literally Foley went through a flaming table, speared through a flaming table, and got burned because the stunt did not work the way it was supposed to. Usually when they do that stunt, the body puts the fire out. It didn't. And he got burned. And
I stopped watching about the beginning of that Edge Mick Foley thing. That would have been,
It was that and Edge has said this multiple times. That feud put Edge on the map. That feud made Edge into a wrestler that could be a world champion.
But that's the thing is like with Edge at that up until that point, like every once in a while he was the guy that was on the losing edge of the losing side of the main event, but he was your mid guy.
Losing edge.
And losing it was also his Orton feud made Orton too.
He made everybody because here's the thing. The Rock was doing well, but there wasn't really a big draw. The Rock and Sock connection, The Rock exploded into wrestling fandom because there was a complete difference in his popularity before that storyline started and after.
It's because everybody loved Mick. Everybody loved Mick. And when Mick stamped him and said, no, this is my guy. This is the thing. The Rock and Sock connection only lasted like a month, maybe two. It wasn't a long thing.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Everybody looks back on it and thinks that it wasn't. It was a very quick thing. But it did. It took Rock from being because he'd just come out of Nation of Domination. He was really starting to do the like charismatic and being the Rock that we know today. And that little Rock and Sock connection run pushed him over that hump and made him the star that he became to be.
Absolutely.
He's been the Joker to many guys' Batman.
Oh yes. Yes. But that's all I had. My other note, and I got to get out of here because I got a kid that wants my attention. But my other note is there's rumor going around that Santino Marella, if you know who that is, he's Cobra, and
Cobra Kai.
He worked for WWE for a very long time. The rumor is that he just signed a deal with Impact and will be debuting in January. This is a big deal because he has never worked anywhere else other than WWE, and his daughter actually works for NXT. So it'll be interesting to see what they do with him.
I have one last question, and I'm going to 60 seconds. I'm going to take a 6-second break. Is wrestling fake?
I hate him so much. Ask that and then jumps out. No, it is not. I will argue this all day long. It's not fake. I will 100% say it's choreographed. But this is what I tell people all the time that's fake. Stand up right now and cross your arms over your chest and fall flat back on the ground and tell me it doesn't hurt. Because you can't. I promise you can't. It's going to hurt.
Or when you have to throw yourself back.
Yeah. Or do that. If you really think you have some balls, drop, like literally jump back and land on your back, flat back, because that is how you're taught to do it. And if that doesn't hurt, go do it on a ladder. Because I will 100% say all day it is choreographed like a great dance number, and it is. But on that same note, is it practiced before they do it? Not always. AEW does not practice. If you watch wrestlers, a lot of them call in the ring. You'll see their mouths moving. They're talking. They're communicating. Oh, I want to do this. I want to do that. I want to do this. And that's what makes great matches in my mind, because the one thing I hate about WWE is their matches always seem so rehearsed.
I've worked in those practices because when the WrestleMania was down here, I helped with those practices and did some things. And here's what I will tell you about those practices is I think that for WrestleMania, because of the spectacle, the big event, especially you have the celebrities coming in that don't have as much experience. I support the idea of it happening because I think ultimately it can help with safety, among other things. But I think that they are over practiced.
Yeah.
As a general rule for the rest of the season, their matches are over practiced. They've run through them at least a few times.
Every
in the
match is
practice
run through
area.
before the show for WWE. Every match is run through before the show.
And that's just I think it pulls away because you're selling it, but you get the guys that sell it before they need to sell it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I get that they're going to sell it, but let's at least make it a better sell. That's what like in the movies. In the movies, you see these stunt fighters sell it. These professional stunt fighters, they sell that shit in a golden way all the fucking time. It's so fucking consistent. But the WWE guys, like especially in the Attitude Era, like the way that it was done, like it was so much more fluid and it looked so much better than now where it's oversold. And that's one of my biggest problems with today's product.
Yeah,
authenticity is the issue.
Yeah.
That, and then you get the people that want to jump on AEW for the botches, but that's why they have botches, because it's not so over rehearsed. Like, and I'm sorry, when you're trying to do all these things in a 15-20 minute match and you're trying to communicate and move and know that you have to be on a timeline, things are going to happen. Like, someone missteps just one and they misflip, and as long as no one gets hurt and you keep moving, it happens. But
if I'm the puppet master behind all of that, I make those guys learn how to go with that botch. Does that make sense? Like, just go with it, because
that's what you should. That's what
you should do.
Because what we're talking about right now is authenticity. So like the only thing that makes it fake to me is that there's not authenticity in the fact that it's unpredictable, and I don't like my opponents knowing who wins. I don't like my opponents knowing who wins. I like the unscripted, the actual unscripted nature of sports. I won't call them actual sports because that's a whole different conversation. The fakeness to me, and the fake is such a harsh word to use, but like the fakeness to me just is in the authenticity issue where I don't like them knowing who's going to win before the match. That's it. And that changes the whole thing for me. I
don't think there's, because you're of the fact that you're scripting storylines and the outcome of those matches is part of the story. I think that for that you do have to script an ending, but I think that if you remove the element of so much practice, you give the ability for the performers to create a better show, because that's part of what the wrestling is supposed to be, is the performance that's created. If you ever meet somebody that does it, even on an amateur level, they're always working on these things to make it look better, make it look more authentic. Give them the opportunity to use their craft, because that's what they had to learn to get to that level.
Like music, Tony. You play a couple of songs in your band, and they're hitting. One doesn't hit. Which way do we go? Right? Which way does the crowd want to hear? Like, that needs to be more on the move. And like, I'll also give. I've been shitting on them this whole time. I want to give them credit in the fact that Adam Silver, and I've said this before, Adam Silver is trying to move the NBA in a more dramatic way, and he's trying to create storylines off the court and stuff. And that is totally down WWE's. Like, they kind of started that shit. Like, that's or professional wrestling is like the storylines, the drama,
bleeding
like,
real life with the sport.
Yes, and Silver's trying to make like this perfect like duality between the two, where it's like off the court, they're it's unpredictable and it's crazy and all this stuff's happening, but on the court is still unpredictable and it's still best man wins. And and none of them know what's going to happen before that, and then their reactions to it is what the storyline is, right?
Right, but you're working with two different products though, and I think that's ultimately the thing, because the when it comes to basketball, ultimately the product that you have is the wins and losses are the end all be all of what matters. Because yes, the storylines are a side part. Within wrestling, the storylines, the wins and losses, all of that is so intertwined and such a core piece of the product.
Right.
That you again, the ending still has to be scripted. Whereas in the NBA, it would actually kill it if it were scripted.
Right. Now, I'm not saying the NBA should be scripted. Obviously, no, never. But what I'm saying is, like, Adam Silver's trying to make like a hybrid of like WWE drama and like that storyline off the court with the unpredictable on the court. Like, no, it's perfect. Like, I'm saying it's awesome. Like, I'm saying he's a fucking genius because the professional wrestling has obviously found something with that part, right? And then if you combine the two where it's unpredictable and you have the off, the storylines, it'd be perfect. It'd be a perfect time. Right. And I think that's what Adam Silver's trying to do. And that's it's perfect.
Okay. All right,
but
Josie,
that's all I got tonight. No fight night tomorrow night. We're off for the holiday. We'll be back January 3rd with we're gonna be talking Rumble season. So y'all guys have a great night. I'll see y'all later.
See you later, Josie.
See ya.
Okay. All right, Dan.
Now we can finally talk about what we want to talk about. Squirrels that leave stuff behind for us and pussy.
No. Okay. So you want to talk NBA tonight?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Let's do it. You had a James Harden question.
I did have a James Harden question.
I'm trying to figure out what your question might be about.
All right.
Oh, it's him going back to Houston.
Yeah, him going back to Houston. So here's my question. Like, really, what does that do for him if he makes that choice? Because, I mean, granted, things in Philadelphia aren't going swimmingly, but he's playing with Joel Embiid. It could be worse. Like, what's the benefit for him in making a change back to Houston after the other changes he's already made and trashed his credibility with the fans?
Exactly that. He gets to revamp his off the court mantra or what he's been branded to do.
He's not LeBron James. That's not going to. I don't see how that does anything.
He goes back and he mentors those young guys, Jalen Green and them boys. There's a lot of talent in Houston. He goes back, mentors those guys. They win. They go a couple rounds deep in the playoffs. It makes for a good story, and it gets James Harden where he wants to be, and that's back into like the tiptoe into the Hall of Fame where he should be type of category when he retires, right? That's the advantage for James Harden. And I'm telling you right now, that's what James Harden is thinking. Because I think James Harden loves him some James Harden.
Do you really think that that it's going to take going back to Houston to tiptoe into the Hall of Fame, though? Because I think he's already kind of on that path. I mean, I think any reasonable basketball fan would see that he's at least in that direction.
I think that James Harden wants to be recognized, and I think Stax would agree with me on this, and Stax will watch and he'll comment, I'm sure. But I think Stax would agree with me that I think James Harden wants to be considered in that league of when people talk about the greatest scorer of all time, when they talk about the Kevin Durant's and possibly the Tracy McGrady's of the world and things like that. And even Abdul-Jabbar, if you want to go back further, I think James Harden wants to be mentioned in that conversation. And right now, nobody is going to mention James Harden in that conversation. I would. And I think Stax probably would, but like, I don't think that most people are going to do that. And I think that he wants to be recognized like that.
I can't. I don't know that I could, even if he goes back to Houston. It's simply because when you look at especially with those other names that you mentioned, I'll just say it just like that as a whole. The one thing that you get out of them that you don't see out of James Harden that would put him into that conversation is consistency. And yes, he changed teams, but he is still responsible for his play. Every NBA player at the end of the day is responsible for how they play on the court. And he did not. And so those years where he struggled, that he did not perform as well, that wasn't just on the Nets. That wasn't just on the Sixers. That was on James Harden.
Okay. That's fine. If you want to do some consistency, you have issues with James Harden's consistency, do you, Tony? I'm going to tell you why I just get my own NBA show. Okay. This is why. Okay. I'm going to go with you from 2012, to present day, and I'm going to go points per game, James Harden, okay? Here's what we're going to do real quick. 26, 25, 27, 29, 29, 30, 36, 35, 24, 24, 24, 22, 22, 22, 22, 22.
So into this year. Going back down.
Yeah, he's getting older. He's playing different roles. Assists. I'll not even go scoring with you. We're going all the way down the line. We got 11 in 2017. 2020, 11, 2021, 11, 2022, 11, 2023, 11,
okay,
2020,
but here's the thing. Here's what I'm saying, though. when you go back and look at the numbers of KD, Kareem, the other numbers, the other guys that you mentioned, there's a whole lot more longevity out of those years where they're north of 25 points per game in north. And you also see with Harden, like you think he's gonna, when he gets back to Houston, he's gonna suddenly lift those numbers up again for a noticeable amount of time? Like,
that's not what it's about for James Harden, though. Like you were just bragging on his consistency, so I thought I'd teach you a little lesson, and I feel like it's been taught. But like no, it wasn't. That's never been about consistency or like these big long numbers. Like he didn't average 30. He's not going to average 30 for 10 years. He's not going to be. He's not LeBron James as a scorer, even though it's not LeBron's best skill. I've said it on every show now. But that's every. He's not going to be LeBron James. So
no, he's not.
No, he's not going to be. But here's my point, though, real quick. It's not about that for James Harden. James Harden wants to be considered a revolutionary player to the NBA. He wants to be considered in that top level scorer category because he is in that top level scorer category because he is the precursor to Stephen Curry. He is the precursor to what Stephen Curry became. Stephen Curry came and changed the game. Stephen Curry was like Harden on steroids. Like, if you watch his game when he's at Arizona State and everything, dude, this guy was dribble. He's just Steph Curry, but kind of like a little bit more. It's more shaky. It's not as controlled. It's a lot of like, but it's step back threes. It's shooting a lot of threes. It's shooting. It's fucking getting the dudes to jump up into you. That's his. He wants to be considered one of the guys who changed the game. And I personally think that he did. If you watched him back in 2010,
okay. All right. In that sense, changed the game, yes. But I don't know that I can put him in that high of a conversation with the scorer, though. Like, as far as like style and gameplay and stuff like that, those things, like, yes, he made an impact. But when you're talking top scorers, I can't put Harden up there. I just can't.
If you watched him consistently, as I did in 2018, 19, he averaged 37 a game. In 2018, he averaged 34 a game in 2019. Okay, so this guy is literally going out there and he's playing to what the game had become at that point, like with the fouls and the referee. Like there was all these weird rules about people jumping into you and shit when you're shooting threes and stuff like that. Like he basically took that and like he was so skilled that he was able to go, okay, I'm just gonna like start using all this shit for like my advantage. Like he was like, I'll just get a guy up in the air.
LeBron did with the flopping and stuff like that. So.
Yes, kind of. Well, I feel like you have to say that shit. Jesus, now we got to get a whole different conversation. No, but no, I'm fucking. You've offended me a couple times tonight, bro. I've gotten fucking real salty about some shit. About some
it's
fucking
so easy
shit.
to tip you off too. It's
I know.
Just so goddamn easy.
I saw you in the fucking. We're in a Messenger sports report conversation. Fucking Tony's in there just fucking talking about how AD and LeBron are just gonna beat the shit out of Shaq and Kobe in their prime, and I'm like, oh, Tone, back off, bud. Like back
I was
off.
trying so hard. So hard to get him going.
Only because AD. I'll take fucking if I have 2-on-2, and it starts Kobe LeBron. I'll take LeBron's side against whoever you're fucking equally matching me up against on the other side. But AD, come on, man. Like, yeah, he's talented, all right? That dude is made out of balsa wood. Shaq would break him.
So for those of you that don't understand what we're talking about, so with this meme, and I can't get into it right now, I apologize, but it was basically saying that who would win? LeBron, and both in their prime, LeBron and AD, or Kobe and Shaq. And I said, if they play 2-on-2 10 times, LeBron and AD will win 7 out of 10 times, as long as each match is 3 months apart, so AD has time to heal from his injuries.
It's perfect. It's perfect because skill wise, it really is probably true. That's the weird part. Like, and if it's 2-on-2, like Shaq's not down, like. Kobe's not just dumping it in the post to Shaq, and Shaq's just backing AD down the whole time, because that's actually what it like. If they were actually going to try and win, then obviously I think Shaq and Kobe probably win that most of the time, like probably 7 out of 10 times.
But I don't know. I think comparatively, I think realistically, yes, Kobe and Shaq would have that. But I mean, argumentatively, one of the things that we have to remember, LeBron and AD are going to be quicker than Kobe. As a duo, they will be more quick than Shaq and Kobe, because Yes, Shaq was athletic. Don't come at me in the comments. I'm not saying Shaq is slow. He's athletic. But as a combo, LeBron and AD are going to be faster than Shaq and Kobe. I'm sorry.
No, you're completely right, Tony. And here's what people are missing on your point is that you're not talking about them as a duo in a 5-on-5 basketball game. No. You're talking about them as a duo 2-on-2. And your point there actually rings probably true. If you're playing 2-on-2, what are you gonna do? You're gonna bet like what is Kobe gonna do? He's gonna throw it in the post to Shaq in a 2-on-2 game, and Shaq's gonna back a guy down. No, like it's all about the 5-on-5 game. And in a 2-on-2 game, LeBron and AD fucking dominate that shit. I'm telling you right now, LeBron and AD in a 2-on-2 game dominate. They fucking dominate. Shaq will back him down, but like LeBron's going to be there to help. You know, they'll be fine. They'll be all right. Like it's going to be all right. Like 2-on-2 is different. Like in a 5-on-5, I get it.
In a 5-on-5, yeah, Kobe and Shaq, yeah,
as
absolutely.
a tandem, just because you got fucking AD, he doesn't really do anything. Like Shaq was obviously like the ultimate Barry Bonds. He was like the Barry Bonds fucking basketball player, like where he would just take you away. Like he's just the guy you concentrate on, then everybody else gets good shots, right? That's what people are mistaking about your point in that. Is that they're trying to look at it like, oh, they were a better tandem. Clearly, guys. Clearly, they're a better tandem. I get that. Clearly. But like 2-on-2, they win. Come at me. All of it. 2-on-2, they win 7 out of 10 times. You're right. 8 out of 10 times, probably.
I mean, and that's the thing is, I'm not gonna say every time. Like, and that's the thing is they're not gonna be like blowouts or anything. You're not even saying that. But I'm sorry, the quickness alone is a difference, especially in today's basketball. The slower teams have a harder time keeping up in games and get behind. That's the way that basketball is now. Speed is so much more important than it used to be because you had a lot more bigger guys like Shaq. Okay, okay. Let me rephrase it. There were a lot slower guys. There was more about the skill and the accuracy than it was the athleticism. And now athleticism is so much more of a huge component to a professional basketball player than it used to be. That I feel like LeBron and AD are going to just have that quickness that's going to be different than what Kobe and Shaq had. Now, of course, Kobe's quick and smart and all of that, but I just, as a combo, the advantage, the speed advantage goes to Bron and AD.
I was gonna say I hate to be that guy, but like on the other end of that matchup, you have LeBron against Kobe Bryant. Kobe was not okay. So Kobe's not the biggest of cats in the NBA. I know he's a tall guy. He's 6'6", about 215. Okay, but LeBron a little bit bigger. LeBron's bigger than him, LeBron's faster than him. I would say LeBron's quicker and faster than him.
Isn't AD close to Shaq's height? Aren't they? They're pretty close.
They're
to
about
each
the same
other,
height. I was
saying
AD's probably like an inch shorter, inch or two shorter, and he's given up about 100 pounds. And in their prime, right, he's given up 100 pounds. But that's close on the other side too. That's close. And in a 2-on-2 game, it's more about spacing and stuff. Like I said, you're not posting people up in 2-on-2. Just get a guy down and fucking dig at it. Like in a 5-on-5 game, it's different. Obviously, you have Shaq taking away all the attention. But like, yeah, this is about true fives.
Okay. And then one more question for NBA stuff today.
Yeah.
Should the Suns be considering firing Monty?
I mean, yes, they are. I'll guarantee they are. They're definitely thinking about it, but they're not gonna do it. There's no way that they can do it. I don't think for PR. What happens to Phoenix if the Suns fire Monty Williams tomorrow? There is outrage.
I don't know because I think that when I look in the Suns fans groups that I'm in, I mean, I think you're in one or two of them.
I love those delusional groups.
Oh God, they're so fun.
There's so many fun people. They're just very positive people.
I have a theory, by the way. I want to tell you about this. We'll talk more about this when After Dark comes back after the first of the year. But I think I've figured out how Skip Bayless gets his outlandish takes. And I think Colin Cowherd probably learned it from Skip Bayless. Is you get into these groups and you find the most delusional fan and you see what they said, and then you find every way that it could be correct and ignore every way that it would be wrong. Yeah,
I've got a software program on it. It's called the Skip Bayless. I call it a Skippy Bayless. It's a software program that I run. I run it in 2 of these Phoenix Suns groups, and then I run it in like 8 Lakers groups. The Lakers ones are the best. The Lakers ones are the fucking best. You get
Oh
you,
my
you get
God.
like you get the negative parts of it and you get the positive parts of it. It's fucking beautiful.
God.
But yeah, no, like you just run. Yeah, these it's hilarious. Yeah, they just
It's
get all their
so-
best
but
headlines.
I think the fan base. I think Monty's losing the fan base support, and I think I here's the thing that I will say. I think that if you can actually get rid of CP3, I think CP3 is no longer as revered, nowhere near as revered in Phoenix as he used to be, because that drop off has happened.
It's a lot like what LeBron would be if he wasn't any good anymore. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like if
Right.
LeBron just wasn't any good, like everyone would be like, oh, fuck this guy. Like, fuck this guy. Like, get him the fuck out of here. Like, we understand, bud. You used to be good. We get it. Like stop hanging out and like acting like you're not just gonna get burnt in the playoffs on defense. Like it's going out of style. Like what you're gonna be.
Yep.
He's a great, you know who he is? He's Tyus Jones. He's the Memphis Grizzlies backup point guard at this point. That's who Chris Paul is. He's great to just come in, run you about 18 minutes with the second team, with the starter still on the floor, just so they have some scoring left. And he's just out there just like making a couple of passes, gets him into the offense, sets a few screens, maybe takes a charge, complains about a call because he's fucking 37. Like that's Chris Paul now. Just for all you fucking Suns fans website motherfuckers. That's who Chris Paul is. He's not who you guys got originally. Chris Paul was great. I don't mean to talk shit on him.
Chris Paul, and you get a decent return on Jay Crowder to try and keep everything in, because the Suns are still they're still top 5 in the West, aren't they?
The Suns, yeah, they're because Devin Booker's. I mean that. Talent wise, they're fucking still. Paul's not playing, right. And they're like the best they've been.
Exactly, and that's the thing is, but that's if you get rid of. I know what you do. Trade Chris Paul and
for LeBron straight up,
and trade Chris Paul and Jay Crowder for LeBron straight up.
I love that deal. If you're a Suns fan, I love it. If you're a Suns fan,
you should absolutely love that deal. The Lakers and any other team would say no logically, but as a Suns fan, you should want that deal wholeheartedly.
Jeannie Buss should be unanimously fired as a GM if that deal ever went down. Like they just go, no. It's like it froze the game on NBA Live. It's like it just froze it. It's like, nope, no, we're not even doing that with trade requests. Like the trade fucking permissions off. You're still just like the game just goes, no, fuck it, no.
This is just too far.
You can't do that. It's fucked up. It's fucked up. You're too loaded. There's no, yeah.
And you send Monty Williams. You trade the coach too.
Oh yeah, you send Monty Williams. Fuck. You send Cameron Payne. You send that whole offense. Like it's just them. Like you get all of your big contracts off there too, like Mikal Bridges, like all those guys. You just take all your big contracts and just unload them onto LA, and LA is like $70 million over the luxury tax, and you're like, fuck it, I don't give a shit.
It's not my
LA's problem now. They're still paying 3/4 of LeBron's salary. You're just over there like just killing. LeBron's getting paid $7.2 million a year. You're like, that's nice. It's a good cap hit for us. Yeah. Fucking. We should just get on those. I saw you drunk the other night a little bit. I haven't seen you drunk in a long time. I forgot how much I loved drunk Tony, and like we should just do an episode of After Dark. Like we should just come back after the first of the year and just first episode we just get whiskey hammered. Drunk from the beginning, dude. Like just to the point we're like fucking like leaning on the microphones and shit. Like, hey man, it's fucking like the last time.
Okay,
how was it?
In the comments. In the comments, if you want Dan and I to get whiskey drunk and talk sports for our season, our New Year's return for After Dark, please let us know.
We should just do a New Year's show or like a fucking,
also if you have recommendations for alcoholism centers that we're going to need after, that would also be great. No, anything else on NBA before we knock out Major League Baseball real quick before we wrap up?
No. I'm willing to do $1 a shot. So like somebody gives us $1, we take a shot on air. We'll do like 2 hours.
We just put our Cash App up and Whoever gets the
we'll just do it to the show. We'll just do it to like the network. Like, so anybody who gives us $1 on our show, like at the network on New Year's, we both take a shot. We have to just so everybody. So we just I don't know how bad that's gonna get.
I can't do a New Year's Eve. I will New Year's Eve. But for our first show back, I mean,
yes, I like it. First show back, we'll do that.
I wonder how long it'll take to get us pulled off the internet.
Hey, I've been practicing, so I'm good.
Probably going to be drinking the namesake on my shirt, full of bourbon. No, okay.
Bourbon.
So bourbon. Bourbon makes the world go happy. All right, so let's get into the 7:30 stretch.
I want to be the best in the game, invest in my name, check no restraints, I'm obsessed with the pain, I ingest, I retain, assess and I change, possessed by the thought I'll be free one day from society's restraints.
All right, 7th inning stretch. Really quick shout out to my buddy Sean Slackman over at Gunslinger Soap. You can go to gunslingersoap.com right now and sign up to get 15% off of your first order and always free shipping. Gunslinger Soap is handmade soaps and beard products made without all the junk to pamper your skin. Definitely take advantage of the great deal on their website. Get stuff for your loved one in time for Valentine's Day, because obviously that is now fast approaching. I use this stuff every day. Great soap. They've got beard oil kits, wives, if you're looking for something for your husband for Valentine's Day. Their beard oil is fantastic. I actually am getting ready to get into a bottle of the Outlaw beard oil. What are their oils? Everything handmade. I know the guy personally runs a great business. Definitely check him out. Carlos Correa still has not been signed by the Mets, despite all the drama that's been going on with his contract because of medical issues. For those that are not aware, the deal that was originally struck with the Giants fell apart during the physical, there was something discovered about an injury that has not that he got when he was playing in the minor leagues that everybody was aware of that has not affected him since then. Teams seem to be getting held up about it, so I'm sure there's more information there that we are missing. Scott Boras is definitely in a panic because he has now had his second major team flounder at a long-term deal for the 27-year-old shortstop. The Mets deal that they are now tabling as they discuss things was 12 years, $315 million. How much more do you think that the numbers drop before he finally gets signed? And do you think it's going to be with the Mets?
I think it still is with the Mets. But like I saw that meme today that's the Moneyball thing where it's Jonah Hill. And he's like, Billy, this is Carlos Correa. He's like, every time a team sees his physical, he's like, they freak out. I think we could sign him for $287,000. I just love that shit though. But yeah, if you see Moneyball, great movie. We always rep Moneyball on that.
That's a great baseball movie.
It's fucking so good, dude. That movie's so good.
But, scary accurate.
This is Carlos Correa. This is Carlos Correa. Yeah, that's what it is. But no, I think the Mets will end up. I think they end up paying him, but I think it'll be like way under the table lower. It'll be like they'd be like, oh, maybe we just maybe 6 years. Like they do something weird, and it comes out to be like some weird deal. And we're like, all right, so he's still getting paid like top of the line shortstop money, but like they cut the years down. There's like a bunch of clauses and shit. I feel like that's how it's going to go.
I would be surprised if the deal that he signs is longer than 10 years. And that's honestly, and that's my thing is I think that's what the hang up is because Boras is trying to get him a deal that's longer than 10 years. He is 27. Any team that is looking at giving somebody a 10-year deal, if they are older than 25, they are going to pick their medical apart.
Yes.
Because that's going to detect the longevity of the player and how much time you're actually going to get out of that deal. You don't want to be dealing with a 13-year deal and you're 7 years in and they can't play anymore. If you're writing a 10-year deal, year 7, there's probably a club opt-out.
Yeah, there's some. I mean, or the per year goes down significantly.
Or the per year drops significantly, where you can just buy them out. Like
they're gonna front end the shit out of Carlos Correa's deal. It's gonna be front
end. Any deal side will be front end anyway. Yeah.
Tony, what is it? That's my question. What is the issue? Like what? I know that they're saying it's one thing.
Lower back leg injury from when he was in the minors. That according to all reports has not affected him. Not getting any active treatment for it since after he recovered from the injury. So I don't know if it's just there's some scar tissue there they're worried about could be causing problems down the road. That's the only thing that makes sense to me. I mean, but I'm not a doctor, so there's probably plenty of things that could be that I don't know.
But we've been around sports enough. Think about this. I've been around plenty of tall, lanky guys like that. Carlos Correa is 6'4", 210 pounds. He's tall.
Okay,
he's lanky. He's sinewy, right? He's very sinewy. He's got very like it looks like you can see his veins on the inside of his skin.
He's very lean.
Very lean. Okay, so like what happens to a lot of those lean guys is their tendons seem to be a little bit overgrown as far as their skeleton goes, and like their tendons are very weird. They stretch, they pull. This might be a fucking spinal issue. It might be a thing where they think that maybe at some point he's going to have such bad back issues that he might not be able to play, let alone maybe be physically okay anymore. Is what it sounds like.
I did see some people wondering if this was a similar to Mike Trout issue where there's like it's some kind of a lower back issue to the point where you're concerned about really what you're going to get out of the back end of his career. Which,
no way, bro.
Again, when you're looking at the long distance, when you're looking at a long contract like that, you've got to look at everything. That's the way the business goes.
No way when your main operation in the sport that you play is to swing a piece of wood like this with your back, torquing in a certain angle so many times a fucking day / week / year to the point it's exactly like a golf swing. Like Tiger's knees destroyed, his back destroyed. Like the guys, they do this all the time. So that motion actually becomes a hindrance. It's a
repetitive motion injury. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not supposed to, you're not supposed to be doing that much and putting that much torque and that much effort and that much power behind it. It could be an issue. You know, like you said, Mike Trout. Trout's is because he's taking BP all the time. They had to stop him from taking BP because he was doing it so much that he was just killing himself, basically. Like they were just like, dude, you got to slow the fuck down, man. Like you're going to have to play for a while. And like, that's what Carlos Correa might have to do. Like Carlos Correa has been doing it so much. He's just in that same motion. It's the same muscles, you know, it's the same. And our bodies get worn out, dude. We're not meant to do this shit. You know, like they were not evolved to do this stuff. We're really not. Like we're all new to this, you know, and Carlos Correa's body's just kind of new to it. And they're like, oh, fuck, he might not be able to play till he's 35. And they're like you said, they're just breaking the medical down like hardcore. And they're going, well, if you can't play, you know, if you can't play that long, we're not going to give you that long of a deal. So yeah, I think that's the deal.
And, but the thing of it is I think that if he doesn't, but conversely, I think if Scott Boras doesn't get this deal to north of 10 years, he's going to lose credibility in the industry.
Oh, well, the thing is, like, does Boras ever lose anything? Does he? Because in Boris's mind, if he doesn't lose anything, is anything really lost? Because that's the whole universe. And that's how he plays. Seriously, that's how he plays his fucking game, dude. Is like, it's Boris's world, man. I got all these big deals. I had Alex Rodriguez. I had the biggest deals of all time. You guys can suck on me, or I go to somebody else and they suck on me. Like, that's basically the whole deal with Boras. And that's what an agent is like now. And I mean, does he lose credibility? No, he'll blame it on fucking Carlos Correa having a fucking medical issue. You know he will. He'll sell Carlos Correa down the fucking right. I mean, conspiracy wise, he'll just sell Carlos Correa down. He'll be like, yeah, Carlos Correa. He's in the back circles where he's going to lose credibility at. You know, he'll be like, Carlos Correa had some issues. Like,
I was just trying to do my job and sell it. Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know. I think it's an interesting scenario, but we'll see what happens.
Lane, don't bring this in here anymore with your Seattle. All right. Gino.
That was early.
I know it was early. I know it was like an hour ago.
Yeah.
But I'm still gonna talk shit on him. Lane, don't bring your Seattle Seahawks bullshit in here, okay? We're trying to make a successful show, and talking about the Seahawks is not the most successful thing we can do right now, Lane. Okay. All right. So just why don't you worry about the success of the network and not yourself? And Lane.
We'll go ahead.
He's right back to like, fuck this guy.
We can go ahead and wrap up with this. We're not going to be able to hit it on After Dark. Trevor Bauer's suspension has been shortened and ended.
Trevor Bauer.
The reason that he has been reactivated is because they counted the 50 games from the 2021 season where he was on administrative leave and unable to play. He was getting paid for those. He had to pay that back, but as a result, he is reinstated and can start with the beginning of the year.
Gets the money back.
and back into his contract. If there are rumors that the Dodgers are considering cutting him. I think they're going to see if they can find a trade partner first. Which, if they're planning to cut him, they're not going to find a trade partner to get anywhere near what he's worth. You're going to have to cut him and pay him, and you're going to see a team like Boston or New York or a big name go, hey, we'll sign you for the veterans million, let them pay you, and you can come show everybody on the biggest stage that you still got it.
Do you even know Payne, Tony? Do you even know Payne? That's the real
hockey
question.
asshole like that.
Do you even fucking know Payne?
I apparently don't.
Can I just revel? Can I just revel in it for a second? In the fact that, dude, some of these dudes are fucking complete dirtbags, and then there's also dirtbag women who have taken advantage of these, what would tend to be some dirtbag generational type. And Trevor Bauer, I don't think is a dirtbag type guy. I read a lot about this shit. I think that he fucking did what he was asked to do. And I feel like he lost a lot of his professional career over it. And that's all I'm going to say about it. I think that we should revel in the fact that Trevor Bauer's back.
There is video proof that calls into question some of the claims of this woman, especially the claim that really shut down his career, that calls into question. And even as somebody that was a victim of sexual assault, every victim deserves to be heard, but every person that's accused deserves their day in court. Multiple grand juries declined, the LA, who's all gung-ho on this type of thing, which understandably so, more police departments should be more focused on it. LA, who's all gung-ho on this, LA County would not charge him.
It's easy to get a grand jury indictment. It's easy. And these dudes all these people were looking at this and going, I don't think this is going on. I don't think this is a thing.
As Shannon Sharp said, you can indict a ham sandwich if you want to.
Yes.
And then
fucking yeah.
And so that's the thing, is it's like when you're when you look at this, I don't think he was perfect, but I don't think he was guilty of everything that he was accused of. And this guy's just trying to get back to doing his job and try to take care of himself. And
at the end of the day, does this not come down to the fact that I think that people deserve privacy in their personal lives? And if you're not hurting other people intentionally and being a fucking dirtbag piece of shit, then I think that you should be allowed your privacy in your personal life. Is that not true? And I don't think you should lose your professional fucking rights and your right to make money. I mean, he still made a lot of money, but like I don't think you should lose your right to do your job because of your personal life and things that you might. I might like to fuck elephants in my is that going to stop me from you know what I'm saying? Okay, that's kind of fucked up because it's fucking an elephant. But I might like to do weird shit, like throw my shoe and shit in it. What the fuck? If I like to shit in my shoe and throw it, then that's my personal life. And why is that a big deal? I'm not hurting anybody else. That shit's going into my backyard.
But I do understand when you're playing as a professional athlete, you work as a professional entertainer, your personal life becomes more public. But at the same time, the problem that we have as a society with how much we thrive off of the personal lives of the athletes and movie stars and musicians that we idolize as a society is we forget that they are human too, and they are allowed to make mistakes, and they are allowed to learn from those mistakes, just like people are. But we're also talking about a country that would rather punish and incarcerate criminals than rehabilitate them.
Right.
So I think that's probably part of the problem.
But Tony, too, if he's not hurting anybody though, what did he do to he didn't actually, that was the actual issue, was it came out that he might have actually hurt somebody, in which case we should absolutely be paying attention to that, right? But it came out that kind of he wasn't really hurting anybody, he's just doing some weird shit. It's okay to be weird if you're not if you're actually not hurting anybody, it's not affecting anybody else's life negatively. In fact, from what I've seen, he was making somebody's life more positive. But if he's not hurting anybody, what is why do we deserve to know? Why do we need to know that? And why is, we can know that, but like, why is that making?
I think it's ultimately because it's content.
Right.
You know, but we see this young woman, and yes, you know, it's possible that she wanted him to do kinky things, and he took it too far, and that's not okay if that was the case. But we also have to look at the fact that there are claims that she made that have been debunked, like videos that she shot mornings that she was supposed to have been completely beat the shit out of, where she looks like she just had a night of great sex because she's fucking glowing. Like, so I'm not saying he didn't do anything wrong. I'm saying that there's a lot of questionable information about it. And at some point, the guy needs to be allowed to go back and do his job.
Yeah, I think that he's pretty much been exonerated of any actual like real wrongdoing.
No, because exonerated would mean that he was tried and found not guilty. But
no, I mean like court of public opinion.
Right. I mean, exonerated in the court of public opinion, but he has, but he hasn't.
He hasn't.
And,
been,
you're right. And what's crazy is, you know, because Tyreek Hill, there's documented proof. Hey, DHG Nemo.
What up, dude?
There's documented proof that Tyreek Hill didn't do most of the things that he was accused of. But at the same time, if you go on to Tyreek Hill's Twitter, look at any post that he makes, there are references to him breaking his child's arm. There are references to him beating the mother of his child, both of which were proven to have not happened and she was framed for. The audio clip that went viral was actually edited by a news station to try and create a story. They lost millions of dollars in marketing contracts from the Chiefs because of what they did.
But that's not what matters, Tony. The original report is what matters. The original report is what matters, and that's the clickbait.
And as somebody that was a victim, an actual victim of sexual assault, Ngolo, hello. As somebody who's an actual victim of sexual assault, I don't want somebody to be incorrectly ostracized for things that she didn't do. Like, nobody wants to be.
You want to take that one, Tony?
Nope, we're gonna leave that one alone. There's no point in it. But there's no value in holding Tyreek Hill or Trevor Bauer, anybody else who gets falsely accused. There's no value in holding them down. They deserve better. But yeah, Nemo, we know we're with you on that one, bro.
Sentiment exactly.
Yeah. Somebody asked us to burp and fart in a mic one night when we were running kind of late. So I thought
I did.
That one.
Somebody was just
did. That's right. You did. Yeah.
Yeah, several times. It was very sensual too. Very sensual belches.
But the Dodgers would benefit from having Trevor Bauer in their rotation. But ultimately, I think he gets cut or traded, and I hope to God Boston grabs him because we could use a fucking pitcher like him.
Why does he want to go? Why does he want to go to the worst place? The worst place you can go in the East, when he can come to the best place you can go in the East, baby.
Can you please shut to the microphone? I have not been to Taco Bell recently. Sorry, I cannot. Nemo, favorite.
I did that outside.
Seasoning. My favorite meat is, I don't know, probably a smoked brisket. And seasonings, just I don't think I've ever made smoked meat the same way twice. I always use different seasonings just to try different things, and I've never found something I'm content with. So I always just change it up. I think most people do that.
Well, I mean, to answer the first part of this question, Nemo, it's definitely a good smoked pork. But the second question is definitely, I would say, you know, for Ngolo, I would say a good blood sausage, like a good blood sausage. I like to smoke me some good blood sausage. Right.
Okay. All right. So this is disintegrating into madness fast. So as we wrap up, Trevor Bauer, I care about your mental health, man. If you happen to see this, I big respect for you. I hope that you're doing all right. You're more than welcome on our show anytime. Check out me and Dan when we come back from our winter break on Sports Report After Dark Thursday nights at 10 Eastern. We'll probably start the second week of January, I'm thinking.
Yeah,
Just
that
get
sounds
through-
that sounds like what we planned on. Hang on. That's what we planned on. That's what we planned to do was the
That's what
second
we
week of
planned
January.
to do. Yeah.
We're
yeah.
professionals and we do things beforehand.
Yeah, as you can tell from everything you've seen tonight, we're complete professionals. But
Then this show is not for you.
yeah, a lot of short meats on this show. We're all
Just it's
stereotypical white guys. Like basically, we're Asian from the waist down.
every
And-
girl I've ever been with has been able to deep throat me. Like that's
Yeah.
basically what we're going with.
Yeah, they don't have to worry about teeth because they don't have to open their mouth very much for it to
It's
be.
I have lipstick on the balls and everything. It's a
One
whole
ball,
thing.
yeah. You just put the whole balls and
It's
everything.
very easy.
all,
Seems to
yeah.
not be very hard.
Yeah.
It looks like a tuna can, sort of like a
All right, well,
like one of those
of
little
you-
Pepsi cans, 8.8 ounce ones.
Those of you watching live, even if you are a little weird, we appreciate your support. Share it with your friends.
Good God.
And clean it up, please.
Some madness. Clean it.
Um,
Would you guys get a hold of yourselves?
just,
Nemo,
just-
you're cool.
Nemo,
What's
you're
going
cool.
on over here?
Hit us up
Nemo,
on our
you're cool.
Facebook.
He says, "Yo?" Question mark. Yo.
Thank you for joining us, everybody. For my compadre, Dan the Dick Werner, Josie, who had left us earlier, and myself, Seven. Thank you for checking out the Sports Report. Have a good night. We appreciate you.
I love you,
What
Tony.
the actual fuck just happened? I don't even know.
Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 yo, go. Hustle hard, hustle every single day. I'll be making moves till I'm buried